I just made my first full comic in years. And it's a fan comic, based on a kid's show I didn't even watch as a kid. No one in comics is going to take me seriously. Let me explain. My name is Zach. Some of you may know me from my other YouTube channel, The Maskverse, where I adapt children's shows into an audio drama format, with the characters aged up and the stakes are raised. This project is kind of similar in the format that the kids are aged up and the stakes are raised, but it's different because, well, this is a comic, not a podcast. Now, there's one problem with all this. I can't draw for shit. And yes, I just said a swear word because this video is not for kids. I probably should have led with that. Anyway, yes, my art style looks like Diary of a Wimpy Kid crossed with Dogman, but there's a reason for that. I never learned to draw better. That's the whole reason. I never learned to draw better. Anyway, let's get on to the details of the project. From there, we'll start with Odd Squad. Odd Squad is a Canadian-American TVO Kids / PBS Kids show based around a kid-run suit-and-tie agency that basically investigates supernatural occurrences, which they call things that are strange, weird, and especially odd. I discovered the show during my Maskverse research, and I considered adding it there, but I realized something. Odd Squad needs visuals to work. The show is very strange visually, and I don't feel like I could do it justice in a podcast. I know certain people are asking, but Zach, why not just make the Maskverse animated? And to that I say, again to those specific people and only to them, you guys clearly don't know anything about animation or visual storytelling at all, because the Maskverse doesn't make any money and that stuff's expensive. The whole reason I made the Maskverse and audio drama podcast in the first place was to make it free for everyone, including myself. I haven't, don't, and will not make a dime off the Maskverse, nor any fan project I make. This one, I'm talking about included. With that out of the way, back to the comic. In the lore of Odd Squad, every member of the agency is a child. Since that doesn't work in a more grounded setting that leans more into the supernatural elements of the series, I need to age up the characters. So Odd Squad in my series is an organization in which all members are between the ages of 18 and 25, still before the brain fully develops, but a little older. I added a line to explain why this is the case in the actual comic, so I suggest you go read it because it's definitely out by the time this video comes out. After age 25, Odd Squad would present an agent with opportunities to join the other government agencies like the FBI or the CIA. In my version of events, Odd Squad deals with the supernatural, but what exactly does that mean? Well, this Odd Squad deals with things like a kaiju attacking Hawaii as opposed to a woman whose appliances make different noises than they should. But there will still be odd villains from the show, as oddness, as it describes itself in the comics, exists through a future big threat that will be described in more detail throughout the first arc. Also, something I should mention is that I have no intention of making a colored version of this comic because of one simple problem. I don't know how to draw backgrounds. I know it's bad enough I can only draw cartoony looking people, but I seriously struggle even more with background. I don't know why, and if I add color, it will only stand out more, so I'm just not going to bother. The main characters, of Season 1 at least, of the show are Agents Olive and Otto. I decided to give Otto more focus in the first issue as he is a new recruit to Odd Squad as of this story. The first page sees him being recruited. Otto in this comic was originally going to go into the military, but his intelligence and logic caused him to be recruited to Odd Squad instead. Olive, on the other hand, has been on the squad for 2 years, which technically works with the show canon, because Olive is 2 years older than Otto, mentioned in the series' first episode. Season 2 main protagonists Olympia and Otis will be introduced later when the time is right. Main characters also include Miss O, the leader of Odd Squad, and Agent Oscar, the head scientist. In this comic, Miss O has run Odd Squad for many years, more on that in a future issue, and works alongside the government all the way up to the presidential cabinet. Oscar, meanwhile, is still the head scientist and builds gadgets for many agents. Another main character in Season 2 is Oscar's assistant Una, who later succeeds him from his Season 1 job when Oscar becomes president of science at Odd Squad. I don't know if I want to include her just yet because I don't know if I want to bloat the comic, but we'll see in a few issues how I feel. There's also recurring characters who make appearances in this comic. Dr. O, Odd Squad's medic, is one of them. In the original show, she makes a lot of references to Star Trek and Doctor Who. Or so I've heard, because I've never seen either show. For example, she often speaks the line, "I'm a doctor, not a insert something else here," and constantly reminds people she is a doctor. In this version, I'm going to make her like a kind of like a jack-of-all-trades character. I needed a character who could fly a helicopter in this issue, so I thought, why not just make Dr. O do it? That'd be funny. And this is a comedy show and book after all, so it works. She just says she double majored. Now, there are other things, but I'll leave them to you to see in the actual comic. I didn't record myself drawing it all, so I'm just going to throw some images on the screen of some panels. For the next issue, I'll do it right. And now, the comic is out. You can find it at the link in the description. Would you guys like me to try to make some kind of reading for the comic? Because I can probably have that arranged. Anyway, more issues coming soon, and I also plan on probably making something original at some point. I'm going to college in a few days as of writing this, so I'm going to try to make more soon. That's all for now, and I'll see you guys next time.